wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't even...
Hey y'all, how we doing? Welcome to episode 57 of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. So I've decided to come on here and drop a surprise Super Bowl aftermath edition of the Fourth Down Forum podcast for y'all. So where do we start with this? Super Bowl 59, right? It was Super Bowl 59, emanated from New Orleans, Louisiana, between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs were looking to do something historic and three-peat for the first time in Super Bowl history. You know, back to back to back. I'm here to tell y'all, if you can't tell by this jersey, this is 82. This is Torrey Smith, former Raven, Niner, Eagle. There might be another team I'm missing, but he won a Super Bowl with us and he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. So that is the reason for this get up right here. I'm here to tell y'all right now, the Kansas City Chiefs did not. The Kansas City Chiefs, I repeat again, did not. And one more time for those in the back. The Kansas City Chiefs did not three-peat as Super Bowl champions. Now, the score was the Philadelphia Eagles 40, the Kansas City Chiefs 22. And there's a couple of interesting tidbits to take away from this game. Now, first and foremost, for people being like, oh, well, you know, you hate on the Chiefs, da-da-da-da-da-da, you don't hate on the Eagles. One, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Thanos of the AFC. My Baltimore Ravens are in the AFC. Yeah, I'm not going to like the team that, you know, is bullying my team, kicking dirt in their face in the sandbox, giving them atomic wedgies and stuff. No, I'm not going to enjoy that. The Eagles, the last time they won the Super Bowl, 2017, 2018 season or 2016, 2017 season, right? When Nick Foles came in for Carson Wentz and they went on to win. I cannot hate on the Philadelphia Eagles because they are the reason we have the quarterback we have right now. They traded the 32nd pick in the NFL draft for us to draft Lamar Jackson. So no, I'm not going to sit here and hate on them. I got no beef with them. Now, I get fans who are Commanders fans, who are Giants fans, who are Cowboys fans. Yeah, hate on the team all you want. I get it. I do the same thing with my division rivals. A couple of other teams now because, you know. But I digress. What does this mean for the Philadelphia Eagles going forward? Well, quite simple. They are the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions until the next NFL season. Jalen Hurts now has a Super Bowl ring. You know, I was wishing it could have been my guy Lamar, but I ain't mad that it was Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley went from the Giants, did not re-sign with them, and I have been very vocal about the New York Giants paying the wrong guy. And the fact that Saquon went on to the Eagles, got a ring with them, whereas Daniel Jones is currently the backup for the Minnesota Vikings and not even on the Giants roster anymore, kind of proves that theory right. Who's going to come forth and retire for the Eagles? Because, you know, with the Super Bowl lurking, things of that nature, there are always teams that have players come out and announce their retirement. I believe when my Ravens won Super Bowl 47, Matt Burke and Ray Lewis were two players from that year who announced their retirement. So you got that going on. Eagles offensive coordinator, or I should say former Eagles offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, is no longer with the team. as he has taken a head coaching job with the New Orleans Saints. So the good news about that is, hey, the man didn't have to travel far. He was already in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. I know the Eagles had their Super Bowl victory parade, so he had to travel back for that. And then he gets to go right back to work in New Orleans, making that staff and things. Now, there is some struggles for the Saints there, though, because the Saints are in cap hell. There's no way around that. They're going to have to make some cuts. They're going to have to make some decisions. They're probably not going to want to get into cap compliance. But we'll see how that pans out. Other things, the Eagles will probably get once the schedule release happens. Because, the division, whoever wins the division, they get the first place schedule, right? I think the Eagles won the division this year, if I'm not mistaken. I would imagine they did. And I'm going to sit here and say right now, the Eagles deserve the Super Bowl. They had to go through the Rams. They had to go through the Commanders. They had to go through one other team whose name does. Or maybe they didn't, because I think they were the 1 seed, right? So scratch that, reverse it. The thing about that, right? They earned that Super Bowl. It wasn't just handed to them. And the thing I really like about the Eagles in this Super Bowl, I went back and I watched some of the film. They kept their composure the whole time when the Chiefs were trying to get penalties, trying to push, bully, da-da-da-da-da. Like I said earlier, bullying, kicking sand in the sandbox, or kicking sand, dirt in the face, sand in the sandbox type thing. They won. I was not expecting them to win in that sort of fashion. 40-22 is crazy work. I would expect that out of the Chiefs Super Bowl teams of the past because, they seem to be these unstoppable juggernauts who, what can you really say other than that? Now, what does this mean for the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, it means they lost the Super Bowl. It means Patrick Mahomes is not a 4-time Super Bowl champion. He is still a 3-time Super Bowl champion, which that alone is impressive. I can't take away from that. Now, the question on the Kansas City Chiefs side of things. Does Travis Kelce follow in his older brother Jason Kelce's footsteps and retire and move to full-time podcaster with other things as well? But he does New Heights with his brother Jason. Is that how this is going to pan out? What does this mean for Andy Reid? What does this mean for impending free agents for the Kansas City Chiefs? I believe their safety, Justin Reid, is one of them impending free agents. And personally, I would love the Ravens to bring him on. I believe we actually, speaking of my Ravens, I believe we actually plucked a coach from the Kansas City Chiefs. So you see that happen all the time, regardless, when the Super Bowl, both the winners and the losers, because their teams were so good, got there. Their teams get plucked for coaching. We saw it last year, not even at the Super Bowl, after the AFC conference game. The Ravens lost half their damn roster. And I'm just sitting here like, wow. But, that's the thing, right? The other thing, this in no way tarnishes Patrick Mahomes' legacy. Like, I can sit here and be man enough to be like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's got the accolades. He's got the stats to prove it. All this means is the Chiefs are going to come back more angry and pissed off that they did not win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, get to deal with that, which is going to be fun this upcoming season, isn't it? Isn't it? Other things this means, right? It means that the Eagles got their lick back from Super Bowl 57. Remember, that was the Super Bowl that was billed as the Kelce Bowl. Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce. The Chiefs won that one. I know Jason Kelce wanted another ring deep down. Unfortunately, he retired with only one ring, but you know what? Still doing pretty well for himself. He's got his podcast. His wife has her podcast. They're doing great. Also, let that man Jalen Hurts rest. Y'all sent that man, and I know it happens with every Super Bowl, but y'all sent that man from the Super Bowl. You sent him to Disney World. You had him, Saquon, and the offensive line on the, I believe it was the Jimmy Kimmel show. If it wasn't Jimmy Kimmel, it was Jimmy Fallon. I do apologize. I don't keep up with late night TV shows like that. Let that man get some rest. Other than that, there's not much more to say on that end. That's what happened with the Super Bowl. Things coming up. The Chiefs and Eagles will both look to rebuild through free agency that is coming up in March, the NFL draft, post June 1st cuts, and, initially filling out that 53-man roster by the time the NFL season kicks back off. And I'm trying to think what else there is to say about the Chiefs. I think I covered everything on that end. I covered everything on the Eagles end. The Eagles are going to look to defend that title, obviously. I think I stated that already. They're going to want to potentially start an arc that the Kansas City Chiefs started where, hey, they want to get back there. They want to get another one and then another one. Because, once you get 3, you're a dynasty. Or so that's what I've heard growing up. It's like, okay, you got 3. Now you start your dynasty arc. The Ravens only have 2, so we are not quite a dynasty yet. And that irks me a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it doesn't. But I do want to announce, because I did post it on the NBA All-Star and Trade Deadline podcast, but we are now officially partnered with Planet Euphoria. Planet Euphoria is a company who makes hand-drawn graphic t-shirt, sports t-shirts. So whether it be WWE, such as John Cena, The Undertaker, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, guys of those natures. Wrestling's not your thing, that's quite all right. We got the world of the NFL, and I mean the world of the NFL. So, the Eagles, the Chiefs, they got merch. My Baltimore Ravens have merch. Not big on football? That's fine too. You got baseball. Gunnar Henderson. All these other stars. They even got basketball. So it's a really cool website. If you do check them out, obviously when I get a little bit of my funding in order, I'm going to be getting some products from there. Use my code 4th Down Forum. If you check out the website, I'm going to post a link below in the comments below so you can get to that website. Use my code 4th Down Forum for 20% off your entire cart. Other than that, things that are coming up on this channel, I'm excited to announce we are currently sitting at 257 subscribers. And even when I don't announce stuff on the channel, I do want y'all to know I am working on this channel. Like I said, when I restarted this back in, I want to say July or August of 2023, 24, I said, this is my passion project. This is my baby. This is what I want to make a career out of. And that hasn't changed. I still want to make a career out of this. That's why, I do things like, hey, I'm going to drop a surprise episode. I wasn't planning on recording, an episode tonight, but the moment struck, it was inspiring. And I was like, hey, I got some stuff to cover and talk about. So here we are. Other than that, things coming up on the channel. Wrestling. I am a huge wrestling nerd, if y'all haven't pieced that together by now. Elimination Chamber is going to be coming up. So once that comes up, I'll be doing a prediction video on that. Free Agency Frenzy. I know y'all look forward to that every year. That will be in March. We will do a Free Agency NFL episode talking about which players are going where. I know I was excited to announce on last year's Free Agency Frenzy that Dereck Henry, I almost messed up that name, Dereck Henry had signed with my Baltimore Ravens, but it broke me just as much to announce that former Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen signed with the division rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers. NBA stuff, we'll probably do another episode once the playoffs take shape. So we'll do, hey, here's my prediction for the NFL playoffs. Here's who I think is going to advance to each round. I think it's going to take this many games, things of that nature. The mock draft, that is annual, that is yearly, that is never going to change. We always do a mock draft. Me and Michael, y'all have met Michael. He's been on the podcast plenty of times. We are actually currently working on the mock draft episode of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. So, we're trying to do our due diligence, not just be like, hey, let's rush this. Because there have been mock drafts I've done in the past on my own where I'm like, okay, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it's like, hey, what? But no, we've been doing our research. We've been trying to come up with the first outline of that, and then we'll go back over that and see if anything else needs to be worked on that. So other than the the NFL mock draft episode, we'll do an NBA playoff episode down the line. I did tell y'all, and I am sticking to this, the Kobe Bryant player profile episode is still going to be coming. I decided to move it to August 24th, though. That will be the drop date. That doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be when I record the video, but that will be when the video is posted, because I wanted to have a date that is significant with my favorite basketball player of all time. And it's actually funny to think, because I got into it with a customer today on who's better out of Kobe and LeBron, and you can tell, like, Kobe's my favorite basketball player, because I was like, Kobe didn't have to build super teams. And I was like, wait, what am I doing? And I had to like scale back for a minute, because I was like, LeBron's on my team now, so I can't really hate on him. You know what I mean? But also, I wanted to let you guys know, speaking of being at 257 subscribers, once, and I'm going to keep saying it until we get there, once we hit 500 subscribers on the channel, we are doing our second giveaway for the Fourth Down Forum podcast brand. It will be a mini helmet of either your NFL team or your collegiate team, whatever the winner chooses. I draw these at random. So, last time Big Mike of the Running Wrestling podcast won the first ever giveaway. And he received if I'm not mistaken, if I remember this correctly, he received a Magic Johnson Lakers Funko Pop. And, I made sure, got all the details, was like, hey, need your information so this gets to the location properly, and he did get his prize. So these giveaways are legit. This isn't something I just do to boost up the channel. It's a fun, interactive way for y'all to be like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. I also have potentially some stuff in the work behind the scenes, like I said. I can't share too much on that right now because nothing is confirmed. But if those things get confirmed, then lo and behold, how's Roquan Smith say it? We're cooking with grease, right? So, yeah, a lot of exciting stuff coming to the channel. My next small goal is to hit 300, then hit 500. Big goals. I want, and I'm letting y'all know this right now, I want a YouTube play button. Sweat, tears, hours of dedication. Not going to say blood because that doesn't really require that in here. I'm making content talking about sports, so I would hope not. But I will put in the work, and I have been putting in the work. I know it's a uphill battle. You got to get to, I believe the first play button, when I was looking into the information, you got to get to 100,000 subs. And I believe we can get there as long as I am consistent with this stuff. I make this stuff entertaining for you. I consistently drop content. So as long as I am doing all those things, I believe we can, get there. But other than that, y'all, this has been episode, I believe, 57 of the Fourth Down Forum podcast.
Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces.